Hello and welcome to this session. In the earlier session, we had seen how does internet work. In this particular session, we will see setting up of internet connections. I am Professor V.V. Subramaniam, Director, School of Computer and Information Sciences, IGNOU, New Delhi. So, the internet is a global network of billions of computers and other electronic devices. With the internet, it is possible to access almost any information, communicate with anyone else in the world and much more. You can do all this on your computer if you have the internet connection. Before connecting to the internet, you must determine the method you would like to use. Are you going to be connecting to the internet using a modem or a broadband internet connection? Or do you want to use for your smartphone to provide internet service to your computer? So, there are several questions coming into our mind. So, in this particular session, we will be discussing various types of ways to connect to the internet. So, connecting to the internet, a device has to be connected to the internet before you can access it. If you plan to use the internet at home, you will usually need to purchase an internet connection from a internet service provider. In short, we will call him as the ISP, which will likely be a phone company, cable company or the government agency. So, there are several types of internet connections we can see here. The type of internet service you choose will largely depend on which internet service provider serve your area along with the types of service they offer. Following are some of the common types of internet service. They may be dial-up connections, broadband connection, cable connection, satellite connection, 3G or 4G connection. So, let us see one by one where lies the difference and how they work and how to connect using those particular connections. Dial-up connection. This is generally the slowest type of internet connections and you should probably avoid it unless it is only service available in that area. Dial-up internet uses your phone line, so unless you have multiple phone lines, you will not be able to use your landline and the internet at the same time. This is the old form of connecting to the internet. Earlier, some 1.5 decades before, we used to use these kinds of dial-up connections. You know that the bandwidth that time it was only 28 bits per second. So, those kinds of connections were done using the telephone line. Suppose if you are connected to the internet using the dial-up connection and you have only one phone at home and you are using it for the internet, then if the call comes, automatically the connection will be lost to the internet if at all you lift the call. So, that is how the dial-up connections were working those days. So, let us come to the second type of connection, that is the broadband connection. Connecting to the internet using broadband is much faster than a standard 56K modem. Having more bandwidth allows you to do more exciting things on the internet such as watch movies, listen to the music, play games and better load times for websites. Most broadband services are provided by a phone or a cable company. Contact your local phone or cable service providers to see if broadband is available in your area. If broadband service is available in your area, the company can provide you with the hardware, that is a cable, modem, etc. required to connect to their service. This hardware usually connects to a network card on a computer using a Cat5 network cable. So, this is the specification of the network cable, that is Cat5. If your provider does not offer a wireless router, you can purchase a router to share your internet connection with multiple computers and devices. So suppose if you have a router placed at your home, you can connect that particular device to your phone, to the Android TV, to the laptop, to the desktop, and all the devices are connected to the internet using that same connection. There is another type of connection called as the cable connection. So cable service connects to the internet via cable TV. Although you do not necessarily need to have a cable TV in order to get it. It uses a broadband connection and can be faster than both dial-up and DSL service. However, it is only available where cable TV is available. There is another form of connection called as the satellite connection. A satellite connection uses broadband but does not require cable or phone lines. It connects to the internet through satellites orbiting the earth. As a result, it can be used almost anywhere in the world, but the connection may be affected by weather patterns. Satellite connections are also usually slower than DSL or cable. So let us talk about the 3G or the 4G connections. 3G or 4G service is most commonly used with the mobile phones and it connects wirelessly through your ISP's network. However, these types of connections are not always as fast as the DSL or cable connections. They will also limit the amount of data you can use each month, which is not the case with most of the broadband plans. Connecting through smartphone. You may also use your smartphone to connect to the internet by tethering, a process that allows it to act as a wireless access point. Configuring your phone and computer for internet service differs depending on your phone's operating system and manufacturer. Check online for specific instructions for the tethering software and smartphone you are using. So suppose if you have a laptop in your hand and if you have a phone and the signal is very strong. So what you can create is, you can create a kind of tethering to your laptop so that you can avail the internet service through your laptop also. Using the definition for the tethering is using a mobile device such as a smartphone or a tab to provide internet access to other Wi-Fi enabled devices is referred to as a tethering. The act of tethering your smartphone or tab creates a Wi-Fi hotspot which other devices can connect to like any other Wi-Fi signal. Suppose if you are placing a router at your home and just connecting all the devices just like a smartphone, laptop, desktop, tab, etc. Likewise, the tethering process will create a kind of hotspot or else a kind of net connection all around so that you can connect to that particular tethering connection to the various devices. Many smartphones have the tethering capability built in, while others require a special app and do not have it at all. So there are the recent smartphones will have the tethering facility. Connecting through Wi-Fi dongle. So a Wi-Fi dongle is a kind of hardware piece externally connected. It is a pocket sized device that connects to your smartphone, tab or laptop and allows you to access the internet while you are traveling. So you can keep just like it is a just looks like a pen drive. It is very portable, easy to carry, convenient to use and very affordable. Once you configure that particular dongle to your laptop, so you can detach it and then you can carry it in your pocket. Whenever you require an internet connection and the signal is very strong, then you just put on to dongle to your laptop and you can avail the internet service. Most of the Wi-Fi dongles resemble just like a USB drive. You can use this connection provided by the Wi-Fi dongle to access the internet, share the internet connections with your friends, download files, share files and do a lot more. So, a Wi-Fi dongle is basically a plug and play device that allows you to access the internet while you are traveling. So, Wi-Fi dongles do not connect to the laptop or PC and operate independently to provide you with Wi-Fi internet using the cellular data. So, let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages of the dongle usage. It allows you to access the internet from anywhere, anytime. It is extremely lightweight and portable, resembles just like a USB or else just like a pen drive. The pocket sized device can be carried wherever you go. You can use this Wi-Fi dongle abroad also. It is very much convenient to use. No wires or connection is required, simply it is a plug and play. It can be bought or rented for short term use. It is a perfect choice for working on the go. Suppose if you are traveling by train, so you can use this particular dongle and you can avail the internet service then and there itself. It is very useful for work related emergencies. So, let us see the disadvantages of the dongle. There can be restricted on daily downloads depending upon the plan, depending upon the scheme that you are taking from the ISP. It acts according to the scheme and the way that they are offering the service. So, there may be certain restrictions on the downloads or uploads. Usage is limited to areas that have strong cellular data connectivity. So, that particular thing is much required. Suppose if there is no signal strength over there wherever you wish to work with the dongle, then it may be a failure case. You can't access the internet there and it is of no use. So, there may be a question arising in your mind, are Wi-Fi dongle and Wi-Fi hotspot the same? Yes, they are the same. However, a Wi-Fi dongle is a plug and play device, whereas a Wi-Fi hotspot is a pocket sized wireless modem that comes with the same functionality as a Wi-Fi dongle. Instead of connecting to your laptop or PC, they provide internet access by emitting a Wi-Fi signal. So, you can connect multiple devices at once, including tabs, e-book readers, gaming devices and much more. Let us see how to choose internet service provider. Now that you know about the different types of internet service, you can do some research to find out what ISPs are available in your area. Most ISPs offer several tiers of service with different internet speeds, usually measured in megabits per second, and in short we will call it as Mbps. So, if you mainly want to use the internet for email and social networking, a slower connection just around 2 to 5 Mbps might be all you need. However, if you want to download music and stream videos, you will want a faster connection, at least 5 Mbps or much more higher than that. You will also want to consider the cost of the service, including installation charges and monthly fees. Generally speaking, the faster the connection, the more expensive it will be per month. So, you should be judiciously selecting the scheme or the offer from the ISP provider. Depending upon the usage at your home or depending upon the users at your company, the ISP will be having several schemes or offers which you need to select one the best suitable for your need. So, let us see the hardware that is required. Once you have your computer, you really don't need much additional hardware to connect to the internet. The primary piece of hardware you need is a modem. The type of internet access you choose will determine the type of modem you need. For dial-up connections, it uses the telephone modem. For DSL service, it uses the DSL modem. For cable access, uses a cable modem, and satellite services use a satellite adapter. So depending upon the internet access you choose, you have to determine the requirement of the modem also. So the other equipment that is required is the router. A router is a hardware device that allows you to connect several computers and other devices to a single internet connection, which is known as a home network. So many routers are wireless, which allows you to create a home wireless network, commonly known as Wi-Fi network. If you have a router connected at your home, it can like serve to your mobile phone, laptop, tab, desktop, gaming device and other devices. So a single router placed at home, it will just acts like a home wireless network. So let us see how you have to browse the web. Most information on the internet is on website. Once you are connected to the internet, you can access websites using a kind of application or a tool called as the web browser. A website is a collection of related text, images and other resources. Websites can resemble other forms of media like newspaper articles or television programs, or they can be interactive in a way that's unique to the computers. The purpose of a website can be almost anything. It can be a news platform, an advertisement, an online library, a forum for sharing images or an educational site, etc. So what is a web browser? A web browser allows you to connect and view websites. The web browser itself is not the internet, but it displays pages of the internet. Each website has a unique address. By typing this particular address, or you can call it as the URL, into your web browser, you can connect to that website and your web browser will display it. Example, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, etc. So you can see here, this is the simple snapshot of a Chrome browser. So wherein which it is providing a text box wherein which we are directly giving the URL in order to browse that particular website. So this is the snapshot of Mozilla Firefox. So how to navigate a website? Websites often have links to other websites and those are called as the hyperlinks. These are often parts of the text on the website. They are usually colored blue and sometimes they are underlined or bold. By clicking on that particular reference links, one can reach to the page that he intends to reach. If you click the text, your browser will load a different page. Web authors use hyperlinks to connect relevant pages. This web of links is one of the most unique features of the internet, leading the old name World Wide Web. Each website has a unique address called a URL, as we had seen in our earlier video session also. You will notice that when you click a link, the URL changes as a browser loads a new page. If you type a URL in the address bar in your browser will load the page associated with that particular URL. It is like a street address telling your browser where to go on to the internet. So for example, a simple URL you can quote here is the www.igno.ac.in in order to view the contents of the page IGNOU's home page. So this is the URL you can see over here on the browser. I had put the URL www.igno.ac.in. So after clicking on enter, you can get the home page of Indira Gandhi National Open University. So this is how you can browse the home page of the www.igno.ac.in. So there is another thing which we will be frequently using, that is the search engine. When you are looking for a specific information on the internet, a search engine can help. So a search engine is a specialized website that is designed to help you find other websites. If you type a keyword or a phrase or a simple text into a search engine, it will display a long listing of websites relevant to your search terms. Like www.google.com COM is a search engine which is very much popular. So here I had given you the screenshot of the Google search engine. So it is having a simple text box wherein which the user needs to type the phrase or a simple word for which he is looking onto the website. Then after clicking enter, the whole long listing of the websites will be appearing wherever the pattern matches. So the other applications of the internet are, one of the best features of the internet is the ability to communicate almost instantly with anyone in the world. Email is one of the oldest, most universal ways to communicate and share information on the internet, and billions of people use it. Social media is nowadays becoming very much popular, which allows people to connect in a variety of ways and build communities online. So there are many things you can do on the internet. There are thousands of ways to keep up with news or shop for anything online. You can pay your utility bills, manage your bank accounts, meet new people, watch live channels or learn new skills. You can learn or do almost anything online. So before concluding, let us recap. In this particular session, we had gone through various types of internet connections, and you are the best judge in order to select one of the connections among the things that we had discussed today. After that, we had seen what is a search engine and then what are the applications of the internet. So with this, I conclude this particular session. Thank you.